Hey guys, back to 1908 we go. May 9th, 1908. We've got the Tigers at the Cleveland Naps here. Just in case you've forgotten, this is what the American League looks like. So Detroit's 2.5 games out. Cleveland is 1 game out behind the Red Sox at the moment. We'll see if the Athletics win or not. I don't think that they've played. Yeah, no, they're the okay. Yeah, so they'll be a little bit later in terms of the games that we play in the order that we play them. So it'll be Germany Schaefer starting this off for the Tigers. He rolls a 41 for a 28 ground ball to shortstop, and it's Perry who has that, throws to first, 1 away. Bill Coughlin now rolls a 46 for a 13, 2 away, and here's Matty McIntyre. He rolls a 53 for a 15, change to a 22. It's going to be a ground ball over to Stovall at first. He makes the play, flips over to Joss, covering of the bag, and we go to the bottom of the first inning. Josh Clark leads this off for the Naps, rolls a 31 for a 9. It'll be a single for him. He's hitting close to 400, but he's then caught trying to steal, 1 away. Bill Bradley up there now. He is hitting 225, rolls a 41 for a 28, ground ball over to Schaefer, throws to first, 2 gone. Kind of a big jump from number 1 to number 2, isn't it? Stovall hitting 220, and he rolls a 36 for a 33. This is a little E roll, which is a 35. It means it's going to be a pop out over to the second baseman Downs, and we go to the top of the second. Here's Ty Cobb, who should be hitting well and has not been. 309 on-base percentage compared to 365 in real life. He's getting it up there, but he's not there all the way. Does have a home run already this season, though. He rolls a 35 for an 8. That's a pop-up over to the left side. Bradley has that, third baseman, 1 away. Claude Rossman rolls a 42 for a 9. That's a strikeout for Addie Joss, 2 gone. And here's Red Downs. He rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be 2 balls. Remember the 2 Z's? We talked about that the other day. Downs now rolls a 46 for a 27, ground ball to Coughlin at third, and he throws to first. We go to the bottom of the second. Here is Napoleon hitting 271. Like Cobb, under hitting what he did in real life. He rolls a 36 for a 14. There's a walk for him, and that'll bring up Birmingham. Now, Napoleon, so you know, is not quite that fast. We're not going to do a hit and run with him. Birmingham rolls a 33 for an 8. That's a ground ball over to the left side. Coughlin has it, throws to first, and Napoleon moves to second. Here's Jay Clark. And Jay rolls a 65 for a 35. There's a little E roll. It's a 26. It's going to be a foul over to the left side. Coughlin, the third baseman, has that 2 away. George Paring is now up, and he rolls a 65 for a 35. Here is the little E. It's 24, just missing the range. Another foul over to the left side, and it will be Coughlin grabbing that for the out. We go to the top of the third, no score. Ira Thomas for the Tigers rolls an 11 for a 7. That's a single to right field, and that'll bring up Sam Crawford. Wahoo Sam hitting now 302. He's starting to pull himself up a little bit, which means he'll probably, as starting next week in game, he'll be hitting a little bit higher up in the order. He rolls a 13 for a 40. That's going to be a ground ball over to the first baseman, Stovall. Throws over to Paring at second for 1, but the throw back to first is not in time. Crawford makes it. Here comes Ed Summers with a runner on at first. Summers going to bunt, rolls a 55 for a 9. That's a good bunt over to the left side, and it's Bradley who fields that one, throws over to the second baseman Napoleon covering the bag, but Crawford makes it a second, 2 away. Here's Germany Schaefer, who rolls a 42 for a 13, and he'll strike out, and so Joss now has 3 strikeouts, and we go to the bottom of the third. 1 hit for both sides, no runs yet, and here's Bill Hinchman. Hinchman rolls a 43 for a 29, come back over to Ed Summers, throws on to first, 1 away. Here's Addie Joss. He rolls a 61 for a 13 and strikes out, so there's 2 away, and here is Josh Clark. Clark rolls a 52 for a 27, ground ball left side. It's Coughlin who has it, throws on to first, and we go to the top of the 4th inning. Fast-moving ball game. Bill Coughlin rolls a 44 here for the Tigers. The result's an 8. It's a pop-up over to the left side. Bradley's got that one, the third baseman, 1 away. Matty McIntyre rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. Number 4 for Joss. He has 34 this season against only 5 walks. Here's Ty Cobb, and he rolls a 66 for a 2. So Cobb rips a triple to left center field. That'll get that slugging percentage up. Here now is Claude Rossman. Runner on a third, but with 2 outs, top of the 4th. The roll is a 32 for a 26. It's going to be a ground ball to Napoleon, throws to first, and we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Bill Bradley up there rolls an 11 for a 0, and his next roll is a 25 for a 2. That'll be a triple to left center field. And now Detroit has to bring the infield in. This will bring up Stovall. Bradley's fast. He has all the stuff you need. I think we're going to bunt with Stovall, who's hitting 217. Only 5 runs batted in. And the roll's a 34 for a 44. There is a little E roll. That's a 21 within the range. It's going to change it to a 22. That'll be an error on the first baseman. I'm sorry, an error on the catcher. Yeah. So it's a bunt over to the right side, and Rossman has that, throws over to Thomas, who drops the ball. That allows the runner to score, and that makes this a 1-0 game. And here comes Napoleon. So really, really unfortunate there for Summers, who now is behind. Stovall doesn't have an 11, so we won't run too much with him. Napoleon rolls a 45 for a 14, takes a ball. And now rolls a 21 for a 30, fly ball left field, and McIntyre's got that for the out, one away. Here's Joe Birmingham. He rolls a 22 for an A. That'll be a single left center field, sends Stovall over to third. And here comes Jay Clark with 2 men on. Question is, well, do you bunt? Do you hit and run? Birmingham looks pretty good. I think we're going to try the hit and run this time. Rolls a 61 for a 36, and that'll be a ball. Birmingham ends up stealing second, and that means Clark is still up there. We should have had the infield in the whole time. Pull the infield in now, and now comes the bunt. And the roll is a 66 for a 0. I can sure waste him, can't I? Next one is a 13 for a 6. And that ends up being a bunt, and that's a single out in front of home plate. Stovall holds. That's an interesting play. So Stovall ends up holding, and this is one of the more unusual plays I've seen. As a result of that play, the runner from third, I guess, was not bearing down. It wasn't a suicide bunt or something like that. I don't really understand this. It was a bunt that was right in front of the plate. I didn't have the option to make this a suicide bunt. At least I didn't see it pop up. If you see it, let me know. And so now the bases are loaded with 1 out. Here's George Perring, and the infield will come back in, of course. And Perring rolls a 33 for a 7. That'll be a single over second. That'll score 2. It's 3-0 Cleveland. And here now is Bill Hinchman. So 3 runs here for the Cleveland Naps, bottom of the 4th inning, and Ed Summers is starting to lose it. Hinchman rolls a 64 for a 22, changed to 17. It's going to be a single to right field. 1 runner scores, and the other scores as Hinchman advanced to second on the error by Cobb. It's a 5-0 game, and here's Addie Joss. Josh rolls a 54 for a 45, fly ball right field. Cobb's got that one. 2 away. Here's Josh Clark. He rolls a 41 for a 28. That'll be a ground ball over to short, and Schaefer's got it on to first. We go to the top of the 5th inning, but it's a 5-0 game. The damage has been done. Red Downs now leads this off, rolls a 21 for a 30, fly ball left field. Clark has it, 1 away. Garrett Thomas, he rolls a 12 for a 25, ground ball second base. It's Downs who has it on to first, 2 gone. Sam Crawford now rolls a 42 for a 9. That'll be a single over short, and that'll bring up Ed Summers. So third hit of the game for the Tigers. Down, of course, 5-0, and Summers rolls a 15 for a 23, changed to 40. That'll be a little ground ball over to Stovall. The first baseman goes to the bag himself, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Bill Bradley's up, and he rolls a 62 for a 12. Here is a little E roll, and it's going to be a 34 out of the range. So it's a ground ball over to first base. Rossman does this himself to the bag, 1 away. George Stovall now rolls a 65 for a 35, and here is a little E rolls a 64, again out of the range. Foul out, left side. Coughlin grabs that for the out, 2 away. Napoleon now rolls a 44 for a 7, so it's a single to right field. Napoleon now is 1 for 2 today. That'll bring up Joe Birmingham. He is also 1 for 2, and he rolls a 14 for a 43. It's a fly ball center field. Crawford's got that. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Here's Germany Schaefer. Schaefer rolls a 65 for a 35. Little E roll again. It's a 51 out of the range. Foul out over to the left side. Bradley's got that, 1 away. Bill Coughlin now rolls a 36 for a 33. There's a little E roll on him. 63 is the roll. It's a pop-up over to the second baseman. Downs has that, 2 gone. Here's Matty McIntyre, and he rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be 2 balls on him. Next rolls a 43 for a 29. Comebacker over to Joss, who throws to first, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. So the Naps looking pretty good so far, 5-0, and the Tigers haven't really threatened to score other than that triple by Cobb that ended up being wasted. It was with 2 outs. Here's Jay Clark, rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a pop-up over to Coughlin, the third baseman, 1 away. George Perring rolls a 21 for a 30, fly ball to McIntyre and left for the second out. 2 gone. Here's Bill Hinchman. He rolls a 41 for a 28, ground ball to short. Schaefer's got it on to first, and we go to the top of the 7th. Here is Cobb again. Cobb 1 for 2 today, pop-up and then the triple. He rolls a 32 for a 26. It's a ground ball to second. Napoleon on to first, 1 gone. Claude Rossman now rolls a 55 for a 7. That's a single to right, and that brings up Red Downs. Hit number 4 for the Tigers as Downs rolls a 55, and that's a ground ball left side. Bradley throws on to first. Rossman moves to second. 2 men out, and here's Era Thomas. He He rolls a 51 for an 8. That's a comebacker over to Joss, who throws to first, and we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And it will be Joss leading this off. Still a 5-0 ball game in favor of the Naps. It's gone quiet here. And Joss rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball to Coughlin at third. Throws to first. One away. Josh Clark now rolls a 15 for an 11. That's a single for Clark, and he then steals second. So something finally happening in this one. Bill Bradley, the next batter, rolls a 54 for a 45. There's a little E-roll. It's a 25, just missing the range. Fly ball to Cobb and right. He's got that one, 2 away. Stovall now rolls a 33 for a 0, and the next roll is a 62 for a 6. That'll be a double over to left center field, scoring the runner. And here comes Napoleon. 6-0 is now the score. Summers probably should come out. Napoleon rolls a 42 for a 9. It's a ground ball over to Rossman at first, and he goes to the bag himself. We go to the top of the 8th. Here's Sam Crawford. He rolls a 22 for a 0. Then a 64 for a 6. That'll be a double to right center field, and that will bring up Summers, the pitcher. And like I said, we're going to bring him out. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Get the two games mixed up sometimes. And Davy Jones is going to be the pinch hitter. Jones 0 for 5, rolls a 63 for a 30. Now he's 0 for 6. Fly ball to left field. Clark has that. 1 away. Schaefer now rolls a 22 for an 8. Comebacker to Joss goes to first with it. Crawford moves to third. 2 gone. Here's Coughlin. He rolls a 25 for a 9, and that's going to be a single through short. That'll score the runner, and then Coughlin's thrown out trying to advance to second. The Tigers get one back, 6-1 now the score, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. So much for the shutout, but the win is still definitely a possibility. And the big question here is, who do we put on? It's like Malloy or Scuggs. I think we put Herm Malloy on. If Malloy doesn't work, we'll put Scuggs on. So Malloy to face Joe Birmingham. The roll is a 62 for a 12, and that's a single. This is a special thing that just popped up, which is that, and I think we'll probably talk about this later, because Malloy's grade is under a 6. 12s turn into base hits. I think it's with bases empty or with a runner on first. Here now is Jay Clark with that runner on first. He rolls a 33 for a 7. That's going to be a hit too, and that's a single to right center field. Runners now on first and second for George Paring. No bunting here. Paring rolls a 43 for a 29. Comebacker to Malloy, who throws to first, and the runners move up a base each. 1 gone. Here's Bill Hinchman. He rolls a 12 for a 24. There is a little E-roll. It's an 11. So this is going to be changed to 19. That's going to be an error on the third baseman Coughlin, and everybody advances a base. 7-1 is the score. And here's Addie Joss. Joss today's 0 for 3. He's not got many hits so far this year, hitting 150. He rolls a 63 for a 13 and strikes out. 2 away, and here is Clark. Clark rolls a 56 for a 34. It's a pop-up over to the first baseman, Rossman, for the out, and we go to the top of the 9th inning. Matty McIntyre up there. Now it's a 7-1 lead for Cleveland. McIntyre rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. 1 away. Here's Cobb, and Cobb rolls a 46 for a 13. 2 gone. Strikeout number 6 for Joss, and here's Rossman. Rolls a 21 for a 30. A little fly ball over to left field, and Clark has it for the out. And there you go. Under 15 minutes, the Naps beat the Tigers 7-1. And I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.